If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
Ron, thank you. Now to a new development tonight in the arrest of Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty. He and 8 others are charged with kidnapping rapper Gucci Mane. Shiesty's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., and another Memphis rapper known as Big 30 appeared in federal court today. Action News 5's Caitlin Miller was in the courtroom in downtown Memphis. So Caitlin, fill us in. What happened today?
Yeah, Joyce, so they're actually still in there, but what I can tell you is that a special agent from the FBI, Marcellus Hobbs, from the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, took the stand, and defense attorneys for Lontrell Williams Sr., Pooh Shiesty's father, and Rodney Wright Jr., also known as rapper Big 30, asked Hobbs a key question. Is there any hard evidence, like video surveillance, showing either man possessing a gun or threatening anyone? And Hobbs said no. He also testified that no concrete evidence was found in Wright's car or Williams' homes when they were arrested. But even so, the judge ruled there is still probable cause for both men and all defendants who appear today based on cell phone data, outside surveillance video, and victim statements that stand uncontested. Right now, we're still waiting for the detention decision, so we're watching to see whether they'll be held or released as we move forward. Thanks, Joyce. This is Caitlin Miller, Action News 5.
Remember how we thought or we assumed that Big 30's role in this whole robbery kidnapping was kind of small? You know, we entertained in our mind that, all he did was handed Pooh Shiesty a bag, and all he did was stand in front of a door, right? Now, to people that don't know how law enforcement work or know how prosecutors work, you would think to yourself that, man, that's not worth a life sentence. All the man did was hand somebody a bag and then stand in front of a door. But according to federal authorities, that right there, that's simple. Just those 2 little things that he did can get him a life sentence in federal prison. And look, I know a lot of people might say, hey man, that's unfair. All the man did was, hand somebody a bag and stood in front of the door and all that. Man, he shouldn't be looking at life and all. The feds don't work like that. The feds don't care about how small your role in a crime is, as long as you played a role in that crime. And as long as you played a role in that crime, then you might as well did the crime yourself. You see, that's how the feds work. And, a lot of people need to understand this. I'm talking about to the classic and to the young. You need to understand how the law works. And the reason why it's so important that you understand that is because, listen, whenever your friend, that's still in the streets, or your cousin, or brother, mother, father, whoever, that's still in the streets, and they come and tell you, hey, look, all I want you to do is just look out for me. No, you don't have to come in or nothing. We gonna commit the robbery, kidnapping, murder, whatever the case may be. We gonna do all the heavy lifting. All we want you to do, hood educated, is just stand watch. Make sure the police don't come up on us. Make sure don't nobody run up on us and sneak up on us and blow the lick, right? We need you to look out. And you think to yourself, you say, I'm just looking out. I ain't got no gun. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm not shooting anybody. And you think to yourself, hey man, I can do this for a couple $1,000s. All I'm doing is just looking out. But if you get caught, right? The same way these boys got caught. When you get caught, they're not trying to hear that, hey, no, I was just looking out. That don't run. No, that don't go. All that, look, no, I just was looking out, man. I ain't even know they was gonna do that. They ain't going for that. They gonna treat you as if you committed the heavy lifting yourself. That's how they gonna treat you. So that's why when your friends and your loved ones and all them come to you and say, hey man, just look out, you say, nah, bro, I can't, because looking out gonna get me the same exact time as you who committing the actual crime. You see? So hood educated residents and guests. We got to be mindful of that. Now, a lot of people didn't know that Big 30 got caught with 4 guns. Y'all remember when the lawyers say that the feds didn't have any guns? Check it out.
We are outside federal court here in downtown Dallas for an update on the case that involves the rapper known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Jr. After a 1-hour probable cause hearing in federal court in downtown Dallas, he has been ordered held. The judge deciding that yes, there is probable cause that he was involved in the crimes that have been alleged by the FBI. His defense attorneys argued the FBI does not have the guns they mentioned. They do not have the jewelry that they mentioned that was allegedly stolen. They do not have the contract that they say that he was forcing the other rapper known as Gucci Mane to sign to get Pooh Shiesty, the other rapper, out of his contract. But the judge said the evidence is heavy that he was involved in this, that he does have a lengthy criminal history, including gun violations before. So at this point, Lontrell Williams Jr. is being ordered held in federal custody pending his next court.
And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more.
You see what I'm saying? He said that they ain't have no. They got 4. Remember, Big 30 was the last one to get arrested. Everybody else, they snatched him up quick. Big 30 was the last one getting arrested, and when they caught him, when they arrested him, he was with his cousin. He had a Draco and a handgun with him, and his cousin had a Draco and a handgun with him. Now, the cold-blooded part about all that is this right here. According to the reports, the documents, the court documents, every single last one of them during the robbery, kidnapping, didn't have a gun. And when I say every single last one of them, I'm talking about Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and the soldiers that went with them. All of them ain't have guns. It appears that 4 of them had guns, and the rest of them was doing the robbing. You see, 2 Dracos, 2 handguns. The other guys was the ones, hey, get out and grabbing stuff and robbing, taking jewelry and all that old type of stuff, while the other guys stood back with the guns. You see? So now, being that, they lawyers said, nah, they ain't got no. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Check it out. At the time of the stop, officers found the defendant in possession of a Draco-style firearm and a purple-handled Glock pistol. His cousin, who was driving, was also armed with a handgun and had an additional assault rifle in the front seat area. The vehicle thus contained at least 4 firearms among 2 occupants. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, them boys got caught with guns. And then, it kind of makes sense a little bit, being that, they got caught with those 4 guns, and then he broke his phone, tried to destroy his phone. Now, without even saying, right? Anybody in their right mind that get pulled over by the police is not breaking their phone. If you breaking your phone, it's because you don't want the police to have access to your phone, because there's something illegal going on that phone. Whether it be the signing of Gucci Mane, because they saying that Big 30 pulled out his phone and recorded Gucci Core's signature, to release Pooh Shiesty. You see? So that would make sense why he would break his phone or try to destroy his phone and stuff like that. And it makes me think, when Big 30 got caught with those 4 guns in that phone, was he going to destroy evidence? You see? Was he going to go hide all this evidence because he understood that the guns in the phone is incriminating evidence? But before he can get to, to hide it or whatever the case may be, or what he was trying to do with all that, he got arrested. And the cold-blooded part I'm talking about all that is that his father, Big 30, his father is under oath telling the feds, yeah, you know, my son owned a Draco, and you know, he owns some handguns and stuff like that. Yeah. When they asked his father, hey, is this your car? Yeah, that's my car right there. Do your son drive your car sometimes? Yeah, he drive it. The same car that his son had, or the same car that his son drove to Dallas from Memphis, is his father's car. And his father had to tell him, yeah, that's my car. You see? So that's more stuff just connecting him to the crime. You know, I think this is going to be real tough for Big 30. I mean, at first we thought that Big 30 did something real small and he might be getting released and all this old type of stuff. But the prosecuting attorney is fighting hard to keep him locked up. They don't want him released. And here are the reasons why. Check it out. Retrieving the firearms. When the initial attempt to coerce Gucci Mane into signing the contract release failed, Pooh Shiesty instructed Big 30 to go get his bag. The defendant, Big 30, left the recording room, retrieved the bag, and returned with the Draco-styled AK pistol that Pooh Shiesty then pointed at Gucci Mane's head. The defendant, Big 30, thus directly facilitated the armed component of the kidnapping. That's very important. Because if you think about it, right? Before he went and go get the bag for Pooh Shiesty ain't have a gun. You see? And being that Big 30 left the room, grabbed the bag after being ordered by Pooh Shiesty to go get the bag, grabbed it, brought it back, and Pooh Shiesty produced a Draco. That don't look good. That don't look good, because here it is, you are helping the kidnapping. You are helping the robbery. You are helping the coerced signature. And you did that by providing a gun to Pooh Shiesty. You went and grabbed his bag and gave it to him, and he pulled out a gun. A Draco. You see? And then you pulled out your gun. So that just further tells everybody that you are part and partial of what's going on. But it gets deeper. I'm talking about like the way that they baking this cake on Big 30 is cold. It gets deeper. Check it out. Filming the coerced signing. The defendant, Big 30, pulled out a cell phone and recorded Gucci Mane signing the contract release paperwork, while Gucci Mane was forced to state that he released Pooh Shiesty from the contract. This recording was intended to serve as purported proof of the forced release, documenting the very crime as it occurred. You see what I'm saying? All this right here is corroborating. All this right here is corroboration. You see, everything that I just read before and just read just now, all of that is corroborating the whole crime. You are in support of what's going on. If you wasn't, as soon as he said, hey, look, go get my gun, you'd have said, nah, bro, I ain't gonna do that. Go get my bag. I ain't gonna go do that, brother. You know, go get your own bag. Hey, record me forcing this man to sign me out at a 1017 records. Okay, I got you. You see, anybody in their right mind would say, hey, no, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm finna go. You see, but being that he sat there and participated, getting the bag, recording Gucci Mane for his signature, is letting the court know that no, this is premeditated thought. He was part and partial of this whole demonstration. But they got more to bake though. Check it out. Barricading the door. As the remaining co-defendants robbed MM and BP at gunpoint in the control room, the defendant, Big 30, walked to the studio door, closed it, and blocked it with his body, preventing the victims from leaving and the victims' armed security from entering. This enabled the simultaneous robberies to proceed uninterrupted. Now, this right here is kidnapping 101. Because you are depriving people of their freedom to move. You closed the door and sat in front of the door on post with a gun in your hand. That's kidnapping 101. Because now these people are not free to leave. You are basically putting them under arrest and you ain't even got no badge. But you letting them know, hey, look, check this out. You're not going to leave until the crime is committed. And that crime is the robbery. And after the robbery, the coerced, signature. Now y'all can go. You see what I'm saying? Because now we finna go. That's kidnapping 101. Like a lot of people believe you got to throw somebody in the trunk and all that. No, just depriving somebody of freedom of movement and committing a crime in the process. It's kidnapping. But it gets deeper. They steady baking this cake. Check it out. Confronting security with a firearm. When security officers CW and TD managed to partially breach the door with handguns drawn, they observed the defendant, Big 30, and at least 2 others standing behind the door armed with firearms. The defendant, Big 30, was pointing a firearm at the security guards who recognized they were outnumbered and outgunned and retreated. You see what I'm saying? This right here furthers the robbery, kidnapping. You got 2 security officers is willing to testify and say, hey, look, check this out. Big 30 had a gun. Matter of fact, Big 30 pointed his gun at us. You see, when we tried to bust the door down and get in there to save Gucci and to save everybody else that came with us, no, Big 30 stood by the door and pulled out a gun and pointed it at us. You see? And not only that, there was other guys in there with guns too. You see what I'm saying? So no. He was with everything. This is not no minor role in the robbery and kidnapping and stuff like that. No, you was a part of this. You was a part of this whole demonstration. You see, this is not no bad luck or I didn't even know he had a gun, anything like that. Nah. Because as soon as pulled his gun, as soon as Pooh Shiesty pulled his gun, Big 30 pulled his, and everybody else pulled theirs. You see, when things wasn't going the way that they wanted them to go, hey, we gonna force this. We gonna make you do what we telling you to do with these guns. So now Big 30 got a gun in his hand. So we thought he was just standing by the door, not doing it. No, the security officers or security guards is saying that, hey man, this man had a gun and pointed it at us. You see? Now I know some might say, well damn, they pointed the gun at y'all. Y'all ain't shoot back or nothing. And they probably didn't want to shoot back because they got Gucci in there. You see what I'm saying? They got Gucci in there. But hey, this is what they willing to come to the court and testify to. And that's the cold-blooded thing about all that. But they steady baking. Because they got to prove that this boy right here was a part and partial. Check it out. Traveling with co-conspirators before and after the offense. Cell phone records and vehicle telematics confirmed that the defendant, Big 30, traveled from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas, Texas in a Dodge Charger Hellcat registered to his father, arriving on January 9th, 2026. The defendant traveled with the other co-conspirators to the offense location and then to the Star in Frisco afterwards. He returned to Memphis on January 13, 2026 with 2 of the other co-conspirators. So now they got him traveling from Memphis to Dallas. You see? And the whole thing is that, look, y'all traveled from Memphis to Dallas. Y'all ain't go to Bun B burger joint. Y'all ain't go check out, what's going on down there in Houston. Y'all went there for one thing, and they can prove that. They can prove that, look, man, y'all got there, got in the hotel, and then met up at the studio, committed the robbery, went to the hotel, slept a night, and then y'all was going up out of there. And you used your father's car to do all this criminal activity in. I don't understand it. What was these boys thinking? They really was thinking that, hey man, we finna go commit this robbery, and we finna leave a trail of evidence, but we ain't gonna get caught. Nah, we ain't gonna get caught. We just finna go do this to Gucci Mane, take all his stuff, force him to sign Pooh out of the contract, and we finna get away scot-free. What in the hell? What type of thought process is that right there? You see? And then, I mean, you so comfortable. Big 30 is so comfortable in doing this stuff that he took his father's car. Like, I mean, come on, man. Your father's car? Your father's car. Gangsters that's in the comments right now, that pay attention to my channel. How many times have y'all went on a mission and you say, you know what? I'm finna go get my mama car, bruh. I think I'm gonna use my mama car for this one. And then next week when we do that drive-by, you know my dad got that Hellcat over there. Yeah, we ain't gonna get caught in that. We use my father's car, man, to go ahead and commit a crime, man. Like, come on. What's going on? You using your father's car, your father telling them that, yeah, that's my car, your father telling them, yeah, my son owns these type of guns, and then you get caught with 4 guns. Oh, it's not looking good. But they ain't done baking. They steady baking it because they don't want this boy to get away. Check it out. The defendant possessed firearms and destroyed his cell phone at the time he was arrested. The defendant was arrested on March 30th, 2026. In the morning hours, law enforcement had been tracking his cell phone location and arrest warrant in hand, decided to initiate a vehicle stop. Upon realizing that police were behind him and activating their lights, the defendant, Big 30, who was seated in the back seat, smashed his cell phone in an apparent attempt to destroy evidence, which could include the recording of Gucci Mane coerced contract signing. Officers recovered the destroyed phone, but due to the damage were unable to power the device on. At the time of the stop, officers found the defendant in possession of a Draco-style firearm and a purple-handled Glock pistol. His cousin, who was driving, was also armed with a handgun and had an additional assault rifle in the front seat area. The vehicle thus contained at least 4 firearms among 2 occupants. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they found them guns when he got arrested. And did y'all see how they was tracking him? Through his phone. He still got the same phone that he committed the crime with. They tracking him. They looking at the thing. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, he going over here, man. Y'all going that way. They tracking him because they got his phone information. Now, look. They saying that, you know, when he broke the phone, they couldn't turn it back on. But if you read close, they said in an attempt. You see, in an attempt to destroy evidence. So they might can get up in it and still get that evidence about that phone. They just weren't able to turn it on at that time. So, I mean, like, man, bro, like these guys right here is the worst criminals ever. I'm talking about the worst. But the cold-blooded part about all this is this right here. We can learn from this. All you young brothers, all you classic brothers, you can learn from this and understand that, hey, man, look, it's just not that easy. This ain't 1989. You see? No, this ain't back in those days when you can do stuff like that and get away scot-free. No. Everywhere you go, there's something tracking you. Whether your car is hitting those license plate readers or your phone is binging off towers or somebody's Ring camera is really, look, you're being recorded everywhere. Somebody is marking you. Somebody is following you. You can't get away nowadays. That satellite up there beaming down on your ass like, there you go right there. You see? So no, ain't no getting away. So the best thing that people can do is just do things the right way. If you do something the right way, you don't have to worry about no bad consequences. Especially not going to jail or getting shot or getting killed or anything like that. If you do things the right way. Like all Pooh Shiesty had to do. All Big 30 had to do. It just stand up to his homeboy. They like this. Look, come on. If your homeboy is doing something dumb and he finna get you sent to the penitentiary and destroy your whole career, then you need to say, hey, bruh, hold on. Listen, I got a contract that I'm about to sign, a 6-figure contract with CMG. I'm finna get some major money. We need to let this thing right here settle down. Let me go collect my bag. You see? But no, he couldn't stand up to Pooh Shiesty. So he went with Pooh Shiesty. Now he got a federal case and he ain't got no contract that he was finna sign and get 6 figures for. He ain't got that no more. Why? Because he couldn't stand up to his homeboy. And he couldn't be a man and say, hey, bruh, nah, we ain't finna do this. I'm not even finna allow you to do this. Them the type of homeboys you need. You don't need no yes men around you. Anytime you want to go jump off a cliff, the yes man right there next to you. Yeah, man, we might as well. We ain't got nothing else to live for. Let's go ahead and jump off the cliff. You see? No, you need somebody that's going to say, whoa, bruh. No, I'm not finna let you, man, tear down this whole empire like that just because you and your emotions and you mad that you signed the contract that you don't agree with. Now I'm not gonna let you do that. What we gonna do is we're gonna go get some lawyers, okay? Because we got money. We gonna take that money that you getting paid and the money that I got. We finna go get you some lawyers, and we finna renegotiate your contract, or we finna buy you out of the contract. That's the right thing to do. But nobody was there to tell Pooh Shiesty, hey man, look, no, you making a bad decision. His father, his homeboys, nothing. The blind leading the blind. Pooh Shiesty, fresh out the feds, drawing off his emotions. And his emotions done got him locked back up, looking at the death, or not the death, but looking at life. Might as well be the death penalty if you're gonna sit in jail for life, because you're gonna die there. And got all his homeboys looking at life in the penitentiary. All because he signed the contract. He signed the contract that he didn't even agree with. We got to start thinking better. And we got to start knowing better. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love. Now, if you're still here, I need you to check out this other video that I just laid down concerning a New York sweep where the police came and arrested every single last gangbanger that they can find from 2 ruthless New York gangs. Peace and love.